We are reading from the Bhagavad-Gita, 3rd chapter, Karma Yoga, text 39. Text is on the board. First the Sanskrit. Avritam jnanametena Jnanino nityavairina Kamarupena kaunteya Duspurena nalena cha Avritam jnanametena Jnanino nityavairina Kamarupena kaunteya Duspurena nalena cha Avritam jnanametena Jnanino nityavairina Kamarupena kaunteya Duspurena nalena cha Avitam jnanam etena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya duspurena cha. Please repeat.
Avitam jnanam etena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya duspurena nalena cha.
Avitam jnanam etena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya duspurena nalena cha.
Avitam jnanam etena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya duspurena nalena cha.
Someone else? Right? Word for word. Avitam covered. Jnanam pure consciousness. Etena by this. Jnaninaha of the knower. Nityavairina by the eternal enemy. Kamarupena in the form of lust. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Duspurena, never to be satisfied. Analena, by the fire. Cha, also. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by the eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. Please repeat. Thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by the eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. Perfect. It is said that in the Manusmriti that lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment, just as fire is never extinguished by a constant supply of fuel. In the material world, the center of all activities is sex, and thus this material world is called Matunya Agara, or the shackles of sex life. In the ordinary prison house, criminals are kept within bars. Similarly, the criminals who are disobedient to the laws of the Lord are shackled by sex life. Advancement of material civilization on the basis of sense gratification means increasing the duration of the material existence of living entity. Therefore, this lust is a symbol of ignorance by which the living is kept within the material world. While one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but actually that so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. Avitam jnanam etena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya duspurena nalena cha. Thus the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by its eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. Om Agyati Mandasya Jnanchana Shnapya Shikshmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shitchitayam Manabhishtam Staptam Yena Bhutale Spyamukrupkadam Dadanti Spam Padantikam Vandiyam Shigo Shri Yuda Padkamam Shigom Vaishnavamsha Shirupam Charichatam Saganaragnatam Tam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parishana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakam Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namastate Tatta Kansana Gaurandi Radhe Vrindavanashri Vishabhana Sutta Devi Pranamaya Hare Priya Pankha Kalpta Visha Kipasan Vesha Patilam Pavan Vyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Saraswati Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namo Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesina Bhati Paskatani Dustani. So this verse indicates that the eternal soul in this body is covered by lust, the eternal enemy. And by that he has lost it, by that his eternal knowledge is covered. And this covering is in the form of lust. And this lust can never be satisfied. In the previous verse, already different intensities of covering were explained. The womb is covering the embryo, and that was in the purport explained like life of trees, or whose consciousness is practically completely covered. Trees have little sense of consciousness, that their leaves turn to the sun, to the sunlight. There is some consciousness, but plants cannot move. The second example was the mirror covered by dust, and that was compared to animal life, that they can defend themselves, they have some more freedom, but they don't have the intelligence to understand who they are. And then fire covered by smoke. Here we have the living entity, the human being, who has higher intelligence to understand who he is and who God is. A unique opportunity to understand who we are. So these are different forms, different coverings, different bodies, trees, bodies of human beings, bodies of animals. But these are all coverings over the eternal spirit soul. And we can say that a tree may be a third-class prisoner in material world, and the animals second-class prisoners, and we can say the human beings are first-class prisoners. Anyway, there are also other forms described in the Bhagavad-Gita and the Bhagavatam, the life of demigods, that's higher forms of life, where there is also birth and death, but there is no disease of old age. It's a little better there, but anyway, also birth and death is there. It comes to an end all. So, but Lord Krishna doesn't say to Arjuna, you become a first-class enjoyer, become a first-class prisoner, or a super-class prisoner by becoming a demigod. No, he says, no, Arjuna, Nistraigunya means you should transcend this illusory material energy. You should go above it. That not try to become a first-class prisoner. That's because it's all the same problem. That it goes by this lust which covers our intelligence. It burns like fire. When one becomes attracted to something in this world, then attachment grows. Like I explained yesterday. Dayate Visaya Pumsam. It starts with Dayate, meditating on sense objects. That, and as described in the purport, it said that yes, everything in this material world is centered about sexual activities. And this is what this sexual attraction is what one keeps in this world, as the shackles of one in the prison house. This keeps one in the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. This sexual attraction. Because this sexual attraction increases the disease of that we are thinking. It increases the false concept that we are this body. And it makes it stronger, stronger and stronger. And by that, one's ignorance, one is more and more covered by ignorance. That because liberation means becoming free from the concept that I'm the body, we are the spirit soul. But that should not just remain a theoretical concept. It's nice to understand with your intelligence, yet I'm not a soul. Oh, I'm so happy, I'm eternal. But then one goes back into the miseries of material life and does not change one's consciousness. Changing one's consciousness means make it free from this influence of lust. Because this lust, the first thing to understand is this lust in this world that will not make one happy. People take love for lust. Lust means a boy meets a girl and he expects that the girl is going to satisfy his senses, that he is going to satisfy the senses of the girl. It's taking and giving. It's a business agreement. But of course, unfortunately, like I explained a few hours ago in the previous class, that the senses, trying to satisfy the senses, it never works out. Because in the beginning, it is very attractive. But then, after some time, the taste goes out. Like One has a bubble gum. In the beginning, the bubble gum is very nice. It tastes nice. Then the taste go out, and then one spits it out. So in the same way, relations between man and woman in the beginning, very nice, love at the first sight, but then after some time, then it turns in very quickly into hate. Then one's beloved becomes one's enemy, love, so-called love and hate. But this is not love, this is just frustration in one's endeavor for sense gratification. And that is the truth. Lust cannot be satisfied by sense enjoyment. One wants more and more and more. One man wants to gain money, much money. Why? To satisfy the senses of this body, which is very temporary. That even if you are successful, then the body dies. Well, then you start over again, the same misery. So Krishna is giving Arjuna advice here on how to come out of it. And he gives the first hint here. He says, this is the enemy of this lust, Kamarupena Kantya. Next verse, Krishna will say, yes, he will say, Indriyana Mano Buddhir Asyadistamam Uchate. He says, this enemy is situated in the senses, in the mind, the intelligence. But to come out of it, the first lesson we have to learn is this sense gratification will not make me happy. If you think it will make you happy, or you have doubts about it, then one is not ready for spiritual life. One is ready for spiritual life and one understands this body is a source of misery. And this so-called satisfaction of the senses, it's an illusion. It's a fata morgana in the desert. In America, a few years ago, this is a real story, a man won $365 million with the lottery. And that's a lot of money. And the day he won the lottery, he went to New York to cash the check. And he took with him his pet granddaughter. He has a granddaughter, and he was very affectionate to her. The granddaughter was 16 years old. And he went to New York to cash the check. When he came back, then he bought for his granddaughter 2 cars, invited our favorite rap singer to sing for her. But sometime later, there came complaints from the school that his daughter had a very arrogant character. Then a few days later, she died from an overdose of drugs. And the man who won the lottery, he said, I condemn the day that I won this money. Then another man, this around the same time, also in America, he won also the lottery, but only $65 million. And he was a black man. He was going every Sunday. He was going to the church, and and he had 2 daughters and a wife. And when he heard that he had won the lottery, he was thinking, Hallelujah! Now God is favoring me. And he bought 3 houses. He gave 1 house to the church, and 2 other houses he gave to his family members. But then, a few weeks later, all his family members, they start to fight with each other about the property rights on the properties, on the houses he gave them. And a big fight came. And the day before the man committed suicide, he said to his lawyers, I condemn the day that I won this money. Anyway, it's just to show that this money will not satisfy man. That the center of all activity in this material world is the sexual attraction. It's called Maituni Agara. It's like the shackles which one keeps in this world. That this makes the idea of I'm this body and this is mine, and satisfying my senses is the goal of life. That enforces that more and more and more. But that's contrary to spiritual life, to realizing that one is the senses, that one is the soul, not the senses and the body. That Krishna will say at the end of the 16th chapter to Arjuna, Trividam narakasya dam tvaram nashnam atmanam. Kama, Krodha, Tatalubas, Tasmaiva Trayam Trayat. What Krishna says to Arjuna, this Kama, this lust, Krodha, anger, Lobha, greed, these are 3 doors to hell. And because Tvaram, Nashnam, Atma, they are destroying the knowledge of the self, the knowledge who we are. And by that, Tasma Etatram Trait, one should give them up. This Kama, Lobha, Krodha. That. Because it destroys the knowledge of who we are, an eternal soul who has nothing to do with this world. It's just our mind who is cheating us, who is telling us you are this body. And the one who gives me something, gives something to the body, is my friend. One who takes something away from me, in what form, can be an object, can be he takes your honor away. He's my enemy. And that's the duality of this world. That we are thinking, what's good for the body is nice. What's bad for the body? Yeah, that's not so good. We call that bad. That what is pleasing to the senses is good. That when a mosquito comes and stings you, then we think that this mosquito is bad. It's bad for the body. And we kill it mostly. But there is a soul inside. The same soul as in our heart. But it's more covered over than our soul. That, so, we need transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge is the first step to get out of this misery. That if we are transcendentally awake, then we will see reality. Otherwise, we remain covered. And it's not so simple to become transcendental awake. It's just not reading Bhagavad-Gita. No, one has to understand Bhagavad-Gita. And that's practically impossible for one who is into sex life, because his knowledge is covered. Krishna will never give him any knowledge of the soul if he is sinful. No way. That Krishna gives knowledge to one who is spiritually advanced. Tesham satayuktanam vachatam pritipuvakam tadami buddhiyogam tam yenanam priyantite. Tadami means giving. Krishna gives Dhami Buddhi Yoga gives intelligence, spiritual intelligence, Buddhi Yoga, not ordinary Buddhi, but only for one who loves him, who worships him with love. But worshipping Krishna with love can only be done with a pure mind. That's for the advanced. But if we are not on that advanced platform of worshipping Krishna with love, with our full attention, then Krishna will not give us knowledge to the heart. But we can get knowledge from Bhagavad-Gita. And by that knowledge, shall we see things as they are. Jnanena tutat ajnanam yesanashanatmanam. This knowledge, transcendental knowledge, it destroys nations or ignorance. So that's what we need, transcendental knowledge. That Tesham aditya vajnanam pakasayati tatparam. It's like when the sun comes up. Then you can see everything very clear in the sunshine. But in the dark, you cannot see objects, you cannot see things. So if we get transcendental knowledge, then surely we come to see how things are in reality. But to get this transcendental knowledge, there is a process. It's a process. It is described in Bhagavad-Gita that Vinipane-Partana, Pariprashnana Sevya, Upadikshantitejnanam, Jnaninastatpadakshana. One has to approach a person, a spiritual master, who is situated in the light, who has realized that he is a spirit soul and is not conditioned anymore, who is above this material world, above the three modes of nature, goodness, passion and ignorance, who is liberated, who has full control over his mind and who thinks always of Krishna. Such a liberated person, one must serve, render service, that's the first thing. And then Krishna will be pleased, because you are serving his representative. And it is that pleasing of Krishna that will allow you to receive transcendental knowledge. Otherwise, no way. If Krishna is not pleased, you will not get transcendental knowledge. That's service. And then inquire from the spiritual master. Who is Krishna? Who am I? And how do I develop again my relationship with Krishna? How do I get rid of this lust and develop again my real knowledge that I'm a spirit soul, not this body? So that's the process: service, humble inquiry, and approaching a spiritual master. Because without the help of the spiritual master, just by book knowledge, it will not happen. One has to approach the spiritual master. Otherwise, one cannot even begin to understand transcendental knowledge. This is what Srila Prabhupada says in a purport. He says, one cannot even begin understanding transcendental knowledge. This knowledge is not accessible just by pratyaksha and anumana, by sense perception or by logic. Krishna is above logic. Absolute truth cannot be understood by logic. It's not possible. Remember Madhvacharya, he took sannyas when he was 12 years old. And he knew the scriptures by heart, the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-Gita. And there was one Buddhist, and he came to challenge him. He wanted to debate with him on the absolute truth. And Madhvacharya said to the man, just absolute cannot be understood by logic, so that's not a method. I'm sorry, no debate. That's finished. So that's not a method. It just doesn't work. That. But if one approaches spiritual master, then gradually, by the knowledge one receives, Yat Prana Narmam Evan Yasyasi Pandava Yena Bhutani Ashishani Dakshashni Atmani Atomai, then gradually one comes to understand that everything in this world is related to Krishna. That everything is in Krishna. And that everything are part and parcels of Krishna, all living entities. And then by that knowledge, that it is said, Apsitas Bababyo Sarvya Byo Papaketama Sarvankana Plavenima Vrichnam Santrishnyasi. Then one enters the Jnana Plaveniva, the boat of transcendental knowledge. From that moment that one follows the instructions of the spiritual masters and study the scriptures and there is guidance, one gets real knowledge of the soul, and one gets to understand the knowledge between matter and spirit, and spirit. Even if one is was a great sinner before, still is on his way now to get knowledge. Gradually this knowledge will develop. That, yeah. Yadidam Samido Knir Pashmasha Kotayana Sheknachni Sharvakarmani Pashmashat Kotetata. This verse says that then after that, one obeys on the basis of that knowledge, one will start to act with knowledge, acting in Krishna consciousness. And then one does not get reactions anymore on one's activities, because it does everything for Krishna. So this process to get rid of this contamination of the heart by lust is also explained in the Bhagavatam. And in the second chapter of the first canto you find a summary. Because this contamination of the mind, this lust, that prevents us to think of Krishna. Bhogasvarya prashaktanam taya paritashetasham. When one is attached to sense gratification, then one's mind remains disturbed. It remains disturbed because one has so many desires to fulfill, and you cannot think of Krishna. It will not happen. So that's the contamination by lust, which is situated in the senses, in the mind, in the intelligence. But the Bhagavatam says, the first thing you have to do is Shushrushur Shadadamasya Vasudev Kata Guchi Shyanmat Sevya Vipra Punyatirtani Shevanat. Since Shushrushur, one should hear, where Shadadamasya, with great care and attention, not just hearing, with great care and attention, really absorbing in it. Then Vasudeva Katarachi wants to hear about Krishna. And then the Shushrushya Shadamsya Vasudeva Katarachi Shyamatse Vyapi Vipra Punya Tirtanishevana. One should serve the Mahatmas, the great personalities, and hear from them with attention. Because if one hears about Krishna, what's the effect on the heart? In the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, the gopis are those who have developed the greatest intense love for Krishna. When they were separated from Krishna, they are singing the following verse it's in the chapter called, or the section called, the Gopi-Gita, the songs of the gopis of separation from Krishna. They are singing Tavakatam Ritam Tapta Jivanam Kavrititam kalmasapanam. Shravanamangalam Shrimadatatam Purichinati Yebu Vidakyana. They are singing that this Krishna Katha, this hearing about Krishna, hearing the pastimes and activities of Krishna, is the medicine for all conditioned souls who are suffering in this world. And great magnanimous sages, they are distributing these narrations, these transcendental narrations all over the world. So the medicine is hearing about Krishna. Because if we get to know Krishna, then we will understand who we are. Because we are a part and parcel of Krishna. Mama Vamsha Jivedoke Jiva Bhutsanatna. If we understand again who Krishna is and who we are, and that we have to serve Krishna, that's our natural position, then we will be liberated. That is liberation, understanding that we are Krishna and serving Him. That's a platform of liberation. But as long that as we are not following this process, then there is no hope for liberation. Because liberation does mean realizing who we are. That. And Shushashusha Dansya Vasdev Kataruchi, hearing, and then Mahat Seva, one has to serve those who are on the transcendental platform. The Bhagavatam, there is the story of Narada Muni. Narada Muni, in his previous life, he was the son of a maidservant. He was the son of a maidservant. The story begins when he was 5 years old. And there was only his mother. His father was not there anymore. Typical Kali Yuga situation. That means, only the mother was there. But it was during the Chaturmasya, the rainy season in India, and during the rainy seasons, then the sages, the Mahatmas, they would not travel, they would stay in one place. They would stay in one place because it's very difficult to travel during that time, in the heavy rains. They would stay together and speak about Krishna. And his mother was cooking for them and was serving them prasad, and little Narada, 5 years, was helping them to serve prasad. And after serving prasad, after they had finished their honoring of prasad, spiritual food, after that, little Narada would beg them, please, can I take your remnants? And he would eat the remnants. And he would sit with them, and during hours and hours, he would just listen to them. And by that, he became attracted, and gradually he became Krishna conscious. So that's the process. Because if we hear about Krishna, then all this I and mine, false I and mine, will be cleansed of the heart. One's attraction from this world will go backwards and become attracted, as one becomes attracted to Krishna. Then Shimvata Svagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Rityanto Yavatrani Vidana Tsutsitam. Then, as one starts to practice this hearing and chanting about Krishna, absorption in hearing about Krishna, just by attentive hearing, Krishna says in this verse, I will cleanse the heart of that devotee. So he will remove the contamination of lust, anger, and greed. And so this happens gradually, it's a gradual process, but just by constantly hearing of the activities of Krishna. Nastapesa Bhatrisu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavata Tamasvaki Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Then this verse says that all the contamination of the heart or the mind will be practically totally removed just by constantly hearing about the Supreme Lord. It's such a powerful process. And then gradually, Tatura Jastamo Bhavakama Lopasya Sayi. Tatura Jastamo Bhavakama Lopasya Sayi. State Teranavitam Stitve Satve Prajitati. Gradually, the mode of passion and ignorance is removed from the heart, and one becomes situated in goodness. So the mode of passion means the mode of passion is the mode of nature what lets us think I'm this body. So when one thinks one is the body, then one comes in passion and feels attraction to the opposite sex, and from there all the other passions go. But that's removed by this process. That is removed together with the mode of ignorance, which is worse, which is madness, one comes in goodness. In goodness, evam panashamanasha. Then the mind becomes peaceful. That's the point where one can hear with attention and absorb in Krishna. That's the point where one can chant Hare Krishna and only fix on the mantra, and it's not diverted by one. It's not diverted by other thoughts which comes in the mind. One becomes really absorbed, and in that absorption, Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata. In that absorption, one can perform devotional service. Because if one performs devotional service with a contaminated mind, then the effect will practically be nil. Because it's not the real thing. The real thing happens when we are absorbed in devotion, when we can give our full attention. Because it's like a child. He receives from the mother a plastic kitchen, and it's imitating the mother in cooking. There's a pan and plastic chapati, and he imitates the mother. But it's not the real thing. The real thing, devotional service, is full absorption in Krishna consciousness. That happens when the mind is purified by these contaminations of lust, anger, and greed. The contaminations mentioned here in the purport. So Esham Manasa Pranasa Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata. Then one can perform real devotional service. And then Bhakta Vijnanam, Tattva Vijnanam, Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam means then one receives real transcendental knowledge. That's the platform where one is going to receive directly instructions from Krishna to the heart. That will not happen before. And then at that level, that's the liberated platform, is Mukta Sanghasa Chayate. Then one attains the platform of liberation. Then Sityante Hridayekantis. And this heart knot in the heart of material attachment is broken. Because this heart knot is created by the sexual attachment between man and wife and to objects in the world. and so many desires to enjoy matter. That's broken, the Bhagavatam says. Sityante hridayekantis. That's, and then Sityante hridayekantis, Vidyate samsayaha, and then all doubts are removed. One sees things clear through transcendental knowledge. One understands I'm not his body, I'm the soul. And with my soul, through transcendental intelligence, I control my mind. And I feed my intelligence with transcendental knowledge, and with that knowledge I control my mind, and with the mind I control my senses. And that's called a liberated soul. Whereas the conditioned soul, there the senses, they will exploit the mind to get satisfaction. And the mind will abuse the intelligence and use it for the satisfaction of the senses. And the soul, it thinks it's the mind. There's a problem because it's not the mind. He's a fool. That's the conditioned state. But we are not the mind. That the mind is cheating. It is cheating you all the time. That it lets you think this is nice, this is bad. Did I tell you yesterday the story of the ice cream factory? No? No. Well, there were two friends. It's just a story that shows how the mind dwells in duality and is cheating you so much. And there were two friends. And one friend, he was working in an ice cream factory. And he says to his other friend, this evening we will go to the ice cream factory and eat some ice cream. I have the key, we can enter. We have to pass through the guard, but he knows me, and anyway, in the evening they agreed, these two friends, and they went to the ice cream factory, and the person, he opens the door of the factory, goes inside and says, I forgot to tell you something, that the ice cream is in boxes of 10 liters. And we have to empty the whole box, then I can put the box with the empty box. Nobody will see. But we cannot take the ice cream outside because the guard will see it, so we have to eat the whole thing. And the other friends say, yeah, okay. They put out the box of ice cream, and they each get a spoon, and they start to eat at each other side. And it's strawberry flavor. Very nice ice cream, and they are enjoying the ice cream. But then when both finished the first liter, they were thinking, my friend said, I think I have enough. Yes, but the other friend said, we have to make some endeavor, we have to empty it, was the agreement, so they continued. And after the second liter, one of both said, I think now I've really enough. Yeah, I know, let's continue. And they go to the third liter. After the third liter, they both say, this is disgusting. And they continue, and anyway, they finish the whole thing, but at the end they cry out, never ice cream anymore. So this is the mind. The mind says in the beginning, this is going to be very nice. And 20 minutes later, the same mind says, this is the most disgusting thing. So, because if it's nice for the body, But Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, this being good and bad for the body. or the happiness and distress of the body. That because what does Krishna say in the beginning of Bhagavad-Gita? Krishna gives immediately Arjuna transcendental knowledge. After Arjuna surrendered, immediate transcendental knowledge, and he gives immediate solution. And it's very simple what he said. What he says, but we just have to follow it. He says, not vevam chaturna shamnatvam nemi chanat pranashivna bhavishma sarvavayamataparam. He says to Arjuna, you, all these things and me have always existed in the past, we are existing now, we will not cease to exist in the future, because we are not a body. You are a spirit soul, you are eternal. So he gives first the good news, then he gives the bad news. He says, oh Arjuna, your body changes. You are the body of a child, then an adult, then your body is going to grow, old age, and then the body dies, and then you go to another body. And a wise person, a dhira, is not disturbed by it. So that's that platform where we have to come. That's not disturbed by that realizing that we are the spirit soul. And how to do that, Krishna says in the next verse. He says, like heat in the summer and cold in the winter, this happiness and distress of the body, one has to tolerate. He has learned to tolerate it, like when it's very hot in the summer, the wife has to cook, even if it's hot. And in the winter, yes, one has to take a shower, even if it's cold. That's one has to learn how to tolerate. Then Krishna says, Yamina vyatatanti te purusham purushashavāgamāpaña nityastam satisha svabhata. And then Krishna says to Arjuna that Samaduka Sukampriyam Shromi Tattvayakalpate. One has to become equal to distress and happiness of the body. Equal, and then one is ready for liberation. So, because this good and bad is an illusion of the mind. We think things are good for the body, then it's good for, and what's bad for the body, that's bad. If one overcomes that, then one is on the liberated platform. And how to do that? Yoga yukta vishuddhatma. Yoga yukta. Engage in devotional service. Because if all the senses are engaged in the service of Krishna, then one is in contact with Krishna. Two effects to that. One becomes purified, and there is no place for lust anymore. If Krishna is in the mind, no lust. Gone. But you have to get Krishna in your mind. That may be not so easy in the beginning. That yoga yukta vishuddhatma, one becomes purified, and then the next effect, vichitatma chitandriyaha, that one's mind becomes controlled, one's senses becomes controlled, and then one has lost his sense of exploiting matter or exploiting others. Then sarvabhutatma bhutatma. Then one becomes a friend of everyone, because everyone feels that this person does not want to exploit me. Then lipyatena sabhapena. Kurvamapina lipyate. One does not become entangled anymore in the material energy. Because if one becomes Krishna conscious, then the tendency to exploit others is gone. First time when I met devotees, I was surprised. First, they were very personal with me. I was thinking, is already very rare in this world. Someone who is personal with you and who has time to listen to you. And then they were serving me. If someone serves you, you think this person likes me, yes. He loves me, he serves me. But then I was thinking, they are so nice with me. What do they want from me? Because that's the tendency in this material world. Everyone exploits one another, and you think that's not a normal person because he doesn't have that tendency to exploit anymore. Then if one becomes a devotee, that's gone. And then when it comes to the real relationship, it's not because I want to exploit your body and you want to exploit my body, because you have a woman body and I have a man body and then we can enjoy. That's not that's not a relationship. That's just sexual attraction, illusory energy, exploitation, commerce, business. But devotees, they come then to the real relationship with people, with others, on the soul level. And one feels that's an older relationship. The relationship between devotees are quite different relationships in the material world. So yeah. Why are they not entangled? Brahman yadaya karmani sangham jatva karoti va. That lipyate nasapapena patma patram ivambasa. They are not entangled because they are everything they desire and do in their lives. It's out of love for Krishna. They serve Krishna. And by that, no reactions anymore. Because Krishna says, I take the reactions. Sarvadamam pacham, mam kansanam saranam pacham. Ham tvam sarvapatbhyam moksha ishyam imachicha. Do not fear, Krishna says. Just surrender to me. I take all your sinful reactions. Then Patma Patramivamvasa, it's like a lotus leaf. In India, sometimes we take prasadam from a lotus leaf. And when you put water on it, the water doesn't go into the leaf, it falls from the leaf. It will not enter the leaf. So in that way, when one acts for Krishna, no reactions anymore. Means no birth, no death, no old age. Yes, that it's 10 to 9. I wanted to go also in the teachings of Sri Shabbadev, which were very much explaining these principles of today. But it's too late. We will continue tomorrow. Any questions? No.
I have one small question.
Yes.
How easy or how hard it is to one to realize that I am not the body, I am the Atma or soul. Because in material world, although Atma is the force behind our body, but we carry every day our body. I speak with the mouth, although force behind is Atma. So how easy or how hard it is to want to realize that I am not the body, I am the Atma.
Well, we are connected with this material world, with our consciousness. Consciousness is contaminated for millions of births. It's not to trace back. So this identification with the mind, intelligence, false ego is a very deep thing. But still, there is hope that it depends mainly on understanding the principles as explained in Bhagavad-Gita and apply them in our lives. Krishna also says at the end of the 6th chapter, Arjuna is asking the question, yes, because like you have also your question, Arjuna was asking, yes, it doesn't seem so simple, so if I don't make it in this life, what will happen. And then Krishna gives 2 points the first point he says, someone who has practiced Krishna consciousness for a short time, not very long, and he does not attain perfection. Means a short time means he has still material desires. He may have some bhakti, but it's sakam. Sakam means material desires. Then Krishna will fulfill first these material desires. It's explained in Bhagavad-Gita. Such a person will go first to the heavenly planets, take the body of a demigod there, enjoy for millions of years, and then come back to this earth. But then, that's the first case. In the second case, Krishna says, but one who strives for unalloyed devotion and performs the practice of devotional yoga for a long time, says, this person will take birth in a family of advanced transcendentalists. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Maharaj, he was in that case. He took birth in a family of pure devotees. And Srila Prabhupada said, I was in that case. I took birth, my father was a pure devotee of Krishna, pure Vaishnava. I took birth in the family of an advanced transcendentalist. And then Krishna says, from there on, the yogi will automatically become attracted again to the principles of yoga, and will very quickly come again to the point where he stopped last life. And we see devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement. In the beginning, when they join, they make so rapidly advancement, many of them. And they come to a point that it starts to become more difficult. It means from previous life they are coming again to. So it's a gradual process. But Srila Prabhupada said, don't waste your time. Do it in one lifetime. It's possible, he says, to come to get rid of all this contamination. But it requires that one dedicates one life completely to the mission of the spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada in the purpose of 241, that's the verse, Vya Vasaya Mikabo Dir Ekana Ko Anandana Vas Vausake Ananta Asa Udayo Vya Vasayana. Yes. He says this verse explains that one should come to one-pointed intelligence, fix one's mind and intelligence of one point. That those who are full of desires, their mind is many-branched. But one who performs devotion service should come to fixing his mind on one point, and that's serving Krishna in one's life. And other words, that's Krishna consciousness, fixing one's mind on Krishna. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada refers to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It's one of our spiritual masters in the disciplic succession, and he says, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that this Vyavasatmika Buddhi, or one-pointed intelligence, is taking the mission of one's spiritual master as one's life and soul. And that's exactly what Srila Prabhupada did. He got the order the first time he met Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Maharaj in Calcutta. He received immediately the order that he should spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya in the English-speaking countries. And that's what Srila Prabhupada did. His whole life was a preparation for that. And finally, when he was 70, he came to America. And in 11 years, he spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Just by by focusing on the mission of his spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada always said, I'm not separated from my spiritual master. I feel always his presence. And because we cannot please Krishna directly, because we don't have our senses. Our spiritual senses are there, but they are covered over by two bodies, a subtle and a gross body. So we cannot serve Krishna with these contaminated senses. But we can serve our spiritual master, and it's going to the Guru Bharati Krishna, and Krishna will accept it, and that's the mercy of the spiritual master. We can serve Krishna in the contaminated state just by focusing our life on the spiritual master. But because what's the mission of the spiritual master is to give Krishna consciousness to others. And at the end of Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna gives the shortcut. He says, one who explains this secret to my devotees. Pure devotional service is guaranteed, Krishna says. So that's the way how to get Krishna's mercy. Engage in Srila Prabhupada's mission, which is Krishna's mission, and take that as one's life and soul, to give up all your other aspirations and focus on that. It's that, and one can make very quickly focus the mind, and especially when Krishna says, you study Bhagavad-Gita. When you study Bhagavad-Gita, it's devotion service, it's worshipping me. So that's a very good practice, to study Bhagavad-Gita and then help Srila Prabhupada in his mission. And gradually, the heart will become purified. It's a gradual process, but when one tries to please Krishna's representative, then it can go very quick. Because in English there is an expression, love me, love my dog. When you love my dog, then I will love you. That's the same with Krishna in some sense, because that's it explained in the 9th canto by Durvasa Muni, by Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha to Durvasa Muni. He said, Sarvam Vidayam Ayamara Sarvam Vidayam Tvam Matan Yatina Janati Mante Vyomanagapi. He says, my pure devotee, he thinks always of me in his heart, and I am always in the heart of my pure devotee. And my devotee does not know anything than me, and I do not know anything than my pure devotee. And that's a very deep relationship. A pure devotee thinks always of Krishna. He cannot see anything other than Krishna in this world. And that's a very deep relationship. That Krishna says that also in Bhagavad-Gita, that Samsavesa Bhutisu Namet Veshastinapriya. Krishna says in that verse that yes, I'm equal to everyone. Then in the last verse of the verse he said, but those who worship me, I'm their friend, and that I'm their special friend. So here he partially says, I'm my devotee, I give a special mercy. But otherwise it's a gradual process, that it's not overnight, but what is 2-3 lifetimes in eternity? Not much.